Federated Identity with a third-party service. Welcome to this lesson on Federated Identity with a third-party service. As organizations adopt cloud and hybrid environments, users often need access to multiple platforms across different service providers. Federated Identity Management allows users to authenticate and access multiple systems without needing separate logins. This improves security, reduces password fatigue, and simplifies access management. In this lesson, we will explore how Federated Identity works in on-premise, cloud, and hybrid environments, discuss its security risks, and review best practices for implementation. Let's get started. Federated Identity Management is a system that allows users to access multiple systems using a single identity, even across different organizations or cloud providers. This eliminates the need for multiple usernames and passwords while enhancing security and user experience. Think of Federated Identity like a travel visa agreement. If your passport is approved in one country, you can use it to travel to other partner countries without needing a new visa for each one. Similarly, Federated Identity allows users to access multiple applications using one trusted identity provider. For example, an employee at a multinational company can log into their corporate account and automatically gain access to cloud applications like Microsoft 365, Salesforce, and AWS without needing separate logins for each service. Use a trusted identity provider (IDP) like Microsoft Entra ID, Okta, or Google Identity. Implement strong authentication methods such as multi-factor authentication (MFA) for federated identities. Regularly audit federated access logs to ensure only authorized users have access. Federated Identity can be deployed in different environments, on-premise, cloud, and hybrid. Let's take a closer look at how each works. First, in an on-premise environment, organizations use federated identity solutions like Active Directory Federation Services (ADFS) to enable single sign-on SSO across internal applications. Second, in a cloud environment, Federated Identity allows users to authenticate once and access multiple cloud services such as Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, and ServiceNow. Third, in a hybrid environment, companies integrate their on-premise identity management system with cloud-based identity providers, allowing seamless access to both local and cloud-based applications. For example, a company using Microsoft Entra ID, formerly Federate identities between its local Active Directory and Microsoft Cloud services, enabling seamless authentication across environments. Use single sign-on SSO to improve user experience and reduce password fatigue. Encrypt authentication tokens to prevent attackers from stealing user sessions. Ensure cloud identity providers comply with security frameworks like NIST, ISO 27001, and SOC 2. While Federated Identity improves security and convenience, it also introduces risks that organizations must mitigate. First, identity provider (IDP) compromise. If an attacker breaches the IDP, they can access all connected services, leading to massive security breaches. Second, improper identity lifecycle management. If access is not revoked properly when employees leave the organization, former users could retain access to sensitive systems. Third, authentication token theft. If session tokens are not properly secured, attackers can hijack active sessions and impersonate legitimate users. For example, if a hacker steals a user's authentication token from a compromised browser, they can use it to access cloud services without needing the user's password. Use strong encryption to protect authentication tokens from theft. Regularly audit and revoke unused accounts to prevent unauthorized access. Monitor authentication logs to detect and respond to suspicious login attempts. Federated Identity relies on different protocols and standards to enable secure authentication across multiple services. First, Security Assertion Markup Language, (A). SAML is an XML-based authentication standard used to exchange login credentials between identity providers and service providers. Second, OpenID Connect (OIDC). OIDC is a modern authentication protocol built on OAuth 2.0 that enables secure single sign-on SSO for web and mobile applications. Third, OAuth 2.0. OAuth allows users to grant third-party applications access to their data without sharing login credentials, commonly used in social media and API security. For example, when you log into a third-party website using your Google or Facebook account, you're using OAuth to authenticate without exposing your password. Use SAML or OAuth 2.0 for secure federated authentication. Enforce token expiration policies to limit the lifespan of authentication sessions. Ensure third-party integrations follow security best practices before connecting to federated systems. Let's look at a real-world example of how federated identity improves security and user experience in a global organization. A multinational corporation needed to enable seamless access for employees across different regions while securing cloud-based applications. Managing multiple logins for hundreds of services created security risks and inefficiencies. To solve this, the company implemented a federated identity solution using Microsoft Entra ID and SAML-based authentication. Employees could now log in once using their corporate credentials and gain access to all authorized applications without needing separate passwords. Additionally, the company enforced multi-factor authentication (MFA) for high-risk applications and used conditional access policies to block logins from suspicious locations. As a result, the organization reduced login-related security incidents by 75% and improved user productivity. Use federated identity to simplify authentication across multiple applications. Enforce MFA and conditional access policies for high-risk users and locations. Regularly audit identity provider logs to detect unauthorized access attempts. Now let's summarize what we've learned about federated identity with a third-party service. Federated identity allows users to access multiple systems using a single authentication provider. On-premise, cloud, and hybrid environments benefit from federated identity for seamless authentication. Security risks include identity provider compromise, token theft, and poor lifecycle management. Common technologies for federated identity include SAML, OIDC, and OAuth 2.0. Best practices include enforcing MFA, encrypting authentication tokens, and regularly auditing user access logs. By implementing these best practices, organizations can enhance security, reduce password fatigue, and streamline identity management across multiple platforms. This concludes our module on federated identity with a third-party service. Up next, implementing and managing authorization mechanisms. Stay secure.